if you're granting asylum to Islamists as opposed to those who are fleeing Islamism, then you're going to have some issues. Now, this particular character in the UK has been eliminated, but you look at so many others who express similar views, and you only need a very small percentage of them who are radicalised to act, and you've got a major problem in your country. And we've seen that in France. In fact, the problem in France is so bad that they can't monitor everyone who they believe to be radicalised because the numbers are so enormous. So, and we're very blasé about it here. We've been very fortunate that we've had a number of terror plots foiled before they were executed, but we're not going to remain lucky forever. And you only need one person to act like this. And we've seen in the aftermath of this, both the media and left-wing politicians pretend like there was no motive, or it could be.
And I'm sorry, but this also, I'm sorry, but we have had a number of attacks on synagogues, Jewish facilities, things of that nature over the last 2 years, which have been
but not with loss of
horrific.
Life.
Thankfully, but we've only, really just gotten lucky on that. When you've got people pouring petrol on a synagogue when people are praying in it, you are very, very lucky that that's not a tragedy. But beyond that, though, all of that, this is the thing that I think is the real cancer of this, is that after that terror attack in Manchester, you saw crowds of people out protesting against the Greta Thunberg flotilla being intercepted by the Israelis. In fact, I was driving up here to host Paul Murray the other night, that same night, and there was a protest I couldn't get through in the Sydney CBD because people were angry at Israel, and they were continuing to do it after that attack. And much of that is driven, not by foreign-born populations, but by white left-wing progressives in this country who have all taken up the cause of Palestine, and it creates this broader sort of atmosphere where people start to begin to think that, Israel is evil, the Jewish people by extension are tied to that, and therefore, anything goes. And that's really terrifying.
Well, it's more than terrifying because the Albanese-Wong approach, the Albanese government approach to this is to go along with calls for always putting the blame on the Israeli sides of things and encouraging the pro-Palestinian side of things. So that's the Albanese-Wong strategy. No wonder, and we've seen this exactly the same thing in Britain. They've done the same thing, recognising Palestine, allowing these endless marches. The leadership never really, with their hand on their heart, getting up and showing strong support for Australian or British Jews and for Israel. There's always this kind of, suggestion that somehow, as you say, Israel are the baddies. But what we've learned on the last few days is that when there is a legitimate peace plan there, when Benjamin Netanyahu has stopped the bombing, Donald Trump has said Hamas are going to be releasing the hostages. Personally, I don't believe we're going to see that outcome, but you never know. But when there is a proper peace plan that is actually supported by the Islamic world, by the Arab world, what do the protesters do? Oh, let's protest about Greta Thunberg. They make up a new excuse. There's suddenly a new thing. So we're going to have, let's protest about this or that. It's all a front. It's all an absolute front. What it hides is a deep antipathy towards Jews and Israel, basically towards Jews on the hard left protesters, whether they be of Islamist sympathies or whether they're just hard left sympathisers. They hate Jews. That's what they're protesting about. Anyone who marched on that bridge should hang their head in shame. Anyone who turns up at the Opera House should hang their head in shame. You are mixing with the worst of the worst when it comes to this sort of anti-Semitic hatred, and it's unforgivable, and our leaders should be standing up against it, as should our Premier here in New South Wales should be stepping in saying, absolutely no way, there will be no more marches, the peace process is underway, there will be no more marches. That's what a true leader would be doing, James.